Well, it's our last night in Fiji, and I feel a little bit sad, as I always do the last night of a holiday. But I just thought I'd share a little bit of a story with what this holiday meant for me, and a little bit with our family as well, with our time here in beautiful Fiji. Fiji was always a place that was special in my heart and my wife's heart as well, because we came here on our honeymoon. We just really connected with the place. We had a beautiful time. I thought that this trip might be a bit of a recreation of how we felt about Fiji, despite having kids, despite being in a very different environment than you would be when you're on your honeymoon. And so I guess that was the journey for me, in a way, recreating and showing the kids, this is why we love the place, this is why we talk about Fiji all the time. Literally this place, let's go to the place that Mum and Dad went to on our honeymoon. That kind of thing, we talk about it all the time. And so in my mind, when I was planning this trip, that was something that we were going to try and achieve. We hired a car and we drove to this waterfall. It was about an hour and a half to 2 hours drive from where we were staying in our resort. Because it was one of the few waterfalls that were actually running this time of year, everything else being pretty dry. And it turns out it was literally the waterfall that my wife and I had been to on our honeymoon, and it was incredible. Like, it wasn't a deliberate thing, but we were able to show the kids, this is the place. We had this kid that showed us and took us along this path where you walk for like 45 minutes to get to the waterfall. I showed the people there a photo of the kid that took us around 16 years ago at this very waterfall, and it turns out in the same room as this child's mother. And they were like, oh, look at this, it's Sammy, it's Sammy. They then go and get him out of the village, and this same kid that took us 16 years ago was right there, and it was cool to meet him. And he's massive now, he's a big Fijian, he loves playing rugby, you know, I wouldn't want to face up against him at all. Anyway, he was terrific. It was great to share that with the kids, and to share that you can connect with people and that sort of thing. Now, on our honeymoon, we stayed at a very special place to our hearts, and that's an island called Mana. And we'd tell the kids all the time that that's my happy place, that's where I want to be, that's the best place to snorkel in the world, this sort of thing. Even though we knew it wasn't, but we just loved it so much. And so we booked a day trip to Mana, and taking the kids there was something else. And there was part of me that really wanted to recreate this thing. We're going to step off the beach and we're going to snorkel straight away. And though our kids are young, they're pretty capable with snorkel and fins, and we were going to make it perfect. We were going to do all these things on Mana Island in one day, and they were going to see the magic of Mana. And that's where I had the realization that this was not going to be the same. This wasn't just my wife and I, this was 3 youngish children, and the day was going to be whatever the day was going to be. We weren't going to be able to recreate something from 16 years ago. Turns out Mana has changed as well. It wasn't the same place that we visited on our honeymoon, and even though it was terrific and everyone should go and visit it, it wasn't everything we'd imagined it to be. It had changed. But bigger than that, we had changed. It took a moment for me on that day to realise Fiji was not the place that it was for us 16 years ago. It was different now. It was never going to be the same because we had changed. Finding that realisation was an important moment for me on this holiday. I realised that that's okay, and we make the best of what we've got now. It's amazing being able to share it with the kids with that attitude, and the holiday was spectacular because of that.
Yeah.